Charisse here. I want to invite you to my virtual group coaching session on May 13th. Come lunch and learn all about managing workplace conflict from 12:30 to 1. It's a 30-minute session and it's totally free. You know, many things can create conflict in a workplace. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with the people. The processes and the workflows are usually not simplified and not consistent. Some things that can create conflict in the workplace are bad workflows, not holding people accountable, little to no training, nepotism, favoritism, absenteeism, even racism. Low morale can create conflict, just cultural differences, people bringing their problems from home, just plain old working styles, gossip, all of that can create conflict. And yes, some people are just annoying because they're people. You know, I spent 20 years building my corporate career, and anytime that I faced any sort of interpersonal conflict or conflict with leadership or a supervisor, what they do, they send you to EAP or HR. But they're there to only do a certain thing. They don't really give you the necessary tools to walk back into your office and to be able to engage and not punch somebody in the face or scream at the top of your lungs, right? So let me tell you guys a little story about why I even left the corporate world. My position at the time was a consultant, and I was literally the only consultant at this hospital. I handled hundreds of teams and projects and departments over the years, over improvement and conflict resolution and team design. But what happened is we happened to get a new CEO who was not a fan of mine for whatever reason. And she was asking me to not only do my job at 100%, but she wanted me to do someone else's job at 100%. That other person came to work all the time. They just didn't know what they were doing. And the CEO handpicked this person. They hired her. But it really wasn't working out. And instead of holding that person accountable, they wanted me to do the job. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So in a meeting, this CEO actually told me that if I did not do what she said, that she would put my desk in a corner until I did. Yeah, wait, what? So look, here's what I learned. In that situation, EAP or HR was not equipped to help me in that situation. EAP told me to basically meditate, and HR looked at me like she's the CEO and there's nothing that I could do. The other thing that I learned is that you can be the janitor or the CEO. We're all human beings. No one deserves to be spoken to in that sort of way in the workplace. We shouldn't even tolerate it. But it also taught me a lot about people. When you have to down or demean someone just to show your power in a workplace, that's really a bad character flaw. And it's not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of you. So my coaching sessions will help you with just these exact situations that are going on at work. And how do you deal with it right then and there instead of going home and getting ready to pull your hair out, right? So how do you have those difficult conversations? How do you have enough confidence to tell yourself, you know what? If they're not going to address the issues or things are not going to get better, I'm just going to take my talents to South Beach like LeBron did, right? So I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you don't want to hear about workplace conflict. But I want you to be able to be politically correct. And I want to help you with your mental well-being while you're going through dealing and navigating in the corporate world. You know, how do you deal with Kate who's getting on your nerves? Or how do you deal with that nosy person who never does their job but just talks to everybody all day, slowing up the workflow, right? And slowing everybody down. And management does nothing about that person. What do you do about that? You know, how do you deal with the person who doesn't do their job correctly? And you end up having to do their job over because the boss comes to you and says, can you do it? Because she didn't do it correctly. And that just gives you more work. But instead of holding that person accountable, you're the person that's doing the job. How do you deal with that situation? Or, you know, how do you deal with straight up just racism in a workplace or sexism in the workplace? I want to coach you through this, and I want to give you the tools to handle it right then and right there. Sometimes an appointment with EAP or HR can be months away, and it's not going to help you when you walk back into those office doors or back into wherever you were at. And so you want to be able to navigate and do it correctly. So that's why if the corporate world is your hustle and this is what you're going to do, I want to help you learn how to maneuver, how to succeed, because you can't succeed in the corporate world. I left a 6-figure career because I wanted to actually get out here and coach people and consult with people and really show them about how to deal with workplace conflict. Can be a tough thing, especially if you know corporate is where you're going to be. I want to help you get there, and I want to help you be successful there. So May 13th, Monday, let's start off the week on a good foot. 12:30, the session is free. If you have anything in particular that you'd like me to cover, you can shoot me an email, which I'm sure is below, and I will try to cover it on that day. But I'm just going to give you guys a little quick session on what the coaching will be offered going forward. So make sure that you subscribe below and you shoot the email address, and you will get a link to the webinar that will take place on Monday, May 13th at 12:30. Lunch and Learn with Charisse. Thank you, and don't forget your lunch.